Hi everyone. I'm Jams. Welcome to the For Sleep channel. A gentle night, a family's midnight embrace. Chapter 1, The Quiet of the Night. In the stillness of a cool autumn evening, when twilight had finally yielded to the deep indigo of night, the old house on Elmwood Lane exuded a serene warmth that defied the chill outside. The sky, a velvet tapestry scattered with countless shimmering stars, bore silent witness to the nightly ritual unfolding within. In that quiet sanctuary, the Morgan family gathered in gentle unity, each soul cradled by the promise of rest and the enduring comfort of familial love. At the heart of the home was the living room, a space that seemed to breathe with its own quiet life. Soft lamplight mingled with the faint glow of moonbeams peeking through sheer curtains. In one corner, a well-worn armchair embraced the curve of an elderly man's body. In another, a small reading nook was occupied by a young girl with eyes as wide and curious as the night itself. The house was a mosaic of tender memories, photographs in delicate frames, a handmade quilt draped over a sofa, and mementos collected over years of shared joys and quiet sorrows. It was on nights like these, when the world outside seemed to pause in reverence, that the Morgan family found solace. Their hearts, each carrying its own story of hardship and hope, converged to create a gentle symphony of understanding. The soft, rhythmic ticking of the antique clock on the mantel was like a heartbeat, a steady, reassuring pulse that marked the passage of time with a quiet dignity. Here, in this modest refuge, the pain of the day melted away, replaced by a profound sense of belonging. Chapter 2, Gathering Under the Moonlight. Evelyn, the matriarch of the family, moved gracefully about the room. Her silver hair, neatly tied back, shimmered in the gentle light as she prepared a simple cup of herbal tea, a nightly ritual passed down through generations. The delicate aroma of chamomile and lavender filled the air, infusing the space with a calm that seemed to seep into every corner of the room. As she carried the steaming cups to the family's makeshift tea table, her eyes glistened with the quiet joy of nurturing those she loved. Seated around the table were her two children, Thomas and Lydia, each with lives marked by their own challenges. Thomas, a reserved man in his early 40s, carried the weight of a world that had not always been kind. His experiences, etched into the lines of his weathered face, spoke of long nights and quiet perseverance. Lydia, younger by a few years, exuded a quiet strength. Her laughter, though rare in recent times, was a reminder of resilience and the ability to find beauty amid struggle. In the corner of the room sat little Sophie, the newest bloom of the Morgan family, barely 6 years old. Her soft breaths and innocent gaze transformed every moment into something magical. Her eyes, dark and shimmering with wonder, followed the slow dance of shadows on the wall, as if each flicker of light held a secret story waiting to be told. Sophie's presence was a soothing balm, a reminder that every new life was a promise of renewal and hope. That evening, as the family settled into the comfortable embrace of their shared space, a gentle conversation unfolded, a slow, measured cadence of words that reflected the night's quiet majesty. They spoke not of grand adventures or earth-shattering revelations, but of small, tender moments that knit their lives together. Memories of childhood laughter, the warmth of a hand held in times of sorrow, and the unspoken bonds of love flowed freely between them, each pause laden with significance. Chapter 3, The Lull of Dreams. As the hours deepened and the night grew ever more silent, the family began to yield to the gentle call of sleep. Evelyn, with her calm smile, settled into her favorite armchair, her eyes closing slowly as if drawing the soft fabric of dreams around her. Thomas reclined on the old divan, his mind drifting back to memories of quiet nights spent reading by the window. Lydia, ever the beacon of inner strength, curled up on the sofa with a well-loved book, its pages whispering tales of distant lands and forgotten times. Even little Sophie, who had been so captivated by the play of light and shadow, soon surrendered to the allure of slumber. In that delicate moment between wakefulness and sleep, each family member found themselves enveloped in a personal reverie, a private journey where the burdens of the day were transformed into a landscape of gentle dreams. Thomas's dreams took him back to his childhood home, where a cool stream meandered through sunlit meadows and every worry was washed away by the playful splash of water. Lydia found herself wandering through a vast, starlit garden where each blossom radiated hope and every gentle breeze carried whispers of long-forgotten lullabies. Evelyn's dreams were suffused with memories of her own mother, and Sophie, whose soft voice and tender care had once painted the darkest nights where the moon hung low in the sky like a guardian, casting a silver glow upon a magical forest. In her dream, the trees bowed in quiet respect, and the stars twinkled with secrets of the universe. The gentle hum of nocturnal life was a lullaby, a soft cadence that cradled her tiny heart in a cocoon of safety and wonder. As each member of the Morgan family embraced the realm of sleep, the house itself seemed to breathe in unison. The walls, imbued with the echoes of laughter and whispered confidences, resonated with a profound sense of peace. In the silent hours of the night, the house was not merely a structure of wood and stone, it was a living testament to the enduring power of love and the quiet strength of familial bonds. Chapter 4, Midnight Conversations. In the deep velvet darkness, far removed from the clamor of daily life, dreams often took on a life of their own. For Morgans, the night was a time for inner dialogue, a conversation between the heart and the soul. In the quiet solitude of sleep, Thomas found himself in a vast, open landscape. The air was cool and the sky, an endless expanse of midnight blue, was studded with shimmering constellations. There, he encountered a figure, a reflection of his younger self, who spoke in soft, measured tones about the nature of hope and the beauty of resilience. Every hardship, every tear you have shed, has built the foundation of who you are, the younger Thomas whispered, his voice echoing softly among the ancient trees that bordered the landscape. In the stillness of night, when the world is at peace, you will find that even the darkest moments are illuminated by the gentle glow of your inner light. These words, spoken in the language of dreams, resonated deeply within him. They were not mere illusions, but timeless truths that had accompanied him through years of quiet struggle. As he wandered further into the dreamscape, Thomas's heart felt lighter, each step measured and filled with a newfound understanding. The dream was a gentle reminder that in the quiet hours, when vulnerability meets the soothing balm of night, one could discover the courage to forgive, to heal, and ultimately to love. Elsewhere in the realm of dreams, Lydia found herself seated by a gently flowing stream. The water, as clear as crystal and imbued with a silvery luminescence, whispered secrets of distant lands. Across the stream, delicate lights danced, fireflies performing a slow, rhythmic ballet that spoke of long-forgotten tales of wonder. In this serene space, Lydia met an old friend. A kindred spirit who had long since become a part of her inner world. Together, they spoke of dreams and desires. Of the hidden wounds that life had carved into their hearts. And of the healing power that lay in shared vulnerability. "Your pain has made you strong," her friend said, softly. Their voice a warm murmur against the gentle rush of water. "In every tear, there is a promise that the love you give and receive is the light that guides you through the darkness." Lydia listened. Her soul absorbing the quiet wisdom as the stream of dreams meandered onward. In that moment, the distinction between past and present, between sorrow and joy, blurred into a singular, luminous experience of understanding. She felt the deep interconnectedness of all things, the shared human experience that bound her to every heart that had ever known despair, yet had also learned to love in spite of it. Across the quiet rooms of the house, Evelyn's dream was a tender tapestry of recollections and silent affirmations. In a gentle field under a sky of infinite stars, she saw the smiling face of her mother, her arms outstretched in an eternal embrace. The familiar scent of lavender and rose wafted in the air. And Evelyn could almost hear the soft cadence of her mother's lullaby, a melody that had once cradled her in the arms of comfort. In that dream, Evelyn understood that the love of a mother was not confined to the boundaries of time, it was an eternal force. A silent promise that no matter how far one traveled or how heavy the heart became, the memory of that love would always provide shelter. Chapter 5, The Silent Bonds of Love. Morning was still a distant promise as the family remained adrift in their personal reveries. The night, with all its infinite quiet and gentle pauses, was a time for silent communion, a time when the unspoken bonds of love wove together the disparate threads of each life. In the heart of the old house, every creak of the wooden floor, every whisper of the wind through the window, was a soft reminder of the family's shared journey. In the dim glow of pre-dawn, Thomas awoke slowly, the remnants of his dream still vivid in his mind. He lay on the worn rug near the hearth, a peaceful expression softening the lines of worry that often marred his face. The quiet, introspective hours of the night had brought him a rare clarity, a deep, resonant truth that every challenge, every hardship, was a part of the mosaic of his life. With a slow, deliberate breath, he rose and padded softly through the silent corridors of the house, careful not to disturb the sleeping forms of his loved ones. Downstairs, Evelyn stirred in the kitchen. The familiar clink of a porcelain cup, the soft rustle of a newspaper as she turned its pages, all formed part of the delicate morning symphony. The kitchen, bathed in the muted light of early dawn, was a haven of domestic tranquility. Outside, the world was still wrapped in the deep blue of night. But inside, the house pulsed with a gentle warmth, a quiet affirmation that even in the darkness, love endures. Lydia, awakened by the soft murmur of the house, sat at the window with a steaming cup of tea. The glass panes, streaked with the gentle condensation of a cool night, framed a view of the garden that looked almost ethereal in the pre-dawn gloom. The silhouettes of blooming roses and towering trees were softened by the lingering haze of night. And for a long while, she simply gazed out, her thoughts adrift on a sea of quiet reflections. For each member of the Morgan family, the night had been a journey, not just through the realm of sleep, but through the landscapes of memory, hope, and unspoken love. In those silent hours, Every soul had been both a solitary traveler and part of a collective
Chapter
heart,
9,
a shared
the
experience
language
that
of silence.
transcended the ordinary and touched upon
The hours
something
of the night
timeless
passed
and eternal. In a gentle cadence, a language spoken not in words, but in the quiet symphony of shared existence. In the space between dreams and wakefulness, the Morgan family found a language that transcended the ordinary, a language of silent understanding, of mutual compassion, and of the tender bonds that tied them together. Thomas, even as he drifted into the realm of sleep, felt the soft pulse of the night as a steady heartbeat. Every whisper of wind, every distant call of a night bird, resonated with a meaning that was both ancient and personal. He remembered the gentle admonitions of his inner voice from earlier hours, the reassurance that every moment of hardship had the power to yield a moment of healing, if only one allowed oneself to surrender to the tender embrace of the night. Lydia's dreams were filled with the quiet murmur of familiar voices, friends and loved ones whose gentle laughter echoed in the corridors of her mind. In her dreamscape, she wandered through a softly lit garden where every flower seemed to bloom in time with her heartbeat. There, beneath the watchful gaze of a crescent moon, she felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude, a silent prayer of thanks for the unspoken support that flowed between her and those who shared her journey. Evelyn, in her quiet reverie, saw the tapestry of her family's life woven together by threads of shared love and enduring memory. The voices of the past, soft as the rustle of autumn leaves, joined the present in a harmonious dialogue, a conversation that needed no words, only the silent language of the heart. In that profound quiet, she understood that the true essence of life was not found in the grand declarations of love, but in the small, unassuming moments of tenderness, a look exchanged over a shared cup of tea, the gentle brush of a hand against another, the soft smile that spoke of unyielding care. And little Sophie, cradled by the endless night, dreamed of a world where every star was a promise and every shadow held the possibility of a gentle adventure. In her dream, the night was not something to fear, but a vast, welcoming expanse, an invitation to explore the beauty of the unknown with a heart full of wonder and a spirit buoyed by love. Chapter 10, The Promise of Each New Night. As the family slowly emerged from the cocoon of sleep, the first light of a new day began to paint the sky in hues of soft pink and gentle lavender. In those tender moments, as the boundary between night and day blurred, the Morgans carried with them the quiet legacy of another night spent in the embrace of love and gentle understanding. Thomas stepped out onto the dew-kissed porch, his eyes lifting to the awakening sky. He felt a deep, abiding gratitude for the silent lessons the night had imparted, the knowledge that even in the darkest hours, there is a reservoir of strength that lies within, waiting to be nourished by the tender care of those we hold dear. Lydia joined him, her voice soft and reflective as she shared a quiet thought about the beauty of impermanence and the hope that each new night carried. Evelyn, with her gentle smile and warm eyes, embraced the morning with a serene acceptance, a silent promise that no matter how the days might unfold, the love they shared would always be their guiding light. In the simple rituals of breakfast, in the soft chatter of morning greetings, and in the unspoken glances exchanged over steaming cups of tea, the Morgan family rediscovered the power of their togetherness. The hardships of the previous day were softened by the tender echoes of the night. Chapter 6. And in the echoes of a new day, of shadow and light, as the first blush of dawn began to color the new day might bring, the gentle magic of the night slowly gave way to the tender light of morning. The transformation was subtle, a soft, almost imperceptible shift, like the turning of a page in a cherished book. In the quiet moments, before the world fully awoke. The Morgan family emerged from the embrace of sleep with hearts full of the silent wisdom that the night had bestowed. Thomas, with the lingering echoes of his dreams still whispering in his mind, prepared a simple breakfast in the warm glow of the kitchen. The act of breaking bread together was a ritual of connection, a daily reminder that every meal, every shared moment, was imbued with love. As he set the table, his thoughts wandered back to the gentle words of his inner voice. The promise that even in the darkest hours, there is a light that guides us home. Evelyn, ever the gentle nurturer, hummed softly as she arranged a vase of fresh wildflowers on the table. Each blossom was a quiet celebration of life, a small, vibrant reminder that beauty can flourish even in the harshest conditions. The soft fragrance of the flowers mingled with the aroma of freshly baked bread and the comforting warmth of tea, creating a sensory tapestry that was both familiar and profoundly uplifting. Lydia, her eyes still reflecting the calm of the pre-dawn hours, joined the family at the table. For a few precious moments, they sat in silence, a silence not of emptiness but of shared understanding, of hearts beating in quiet unison. The clink of cutlery and the soft murmur of conversation wove together into a delicate symphony of everyday love. It was in these small, unremarkable moments that the true depth of their bond was revealed, a bond forged not in grand declarations or dramatic gestures, but in the quiet consistency of being there for one another, even when words were unnecessary. Little Sophie, ever the bright spark of joy, clutched her favorite stuffed animal, a soft, tattered bear that had seen many nights and countless dreams. Her eyes, full of wonder, sparkled as she listened to the gentle cadence of her mother's voice recounting a tale of moonlit adventures and enchanted forests. Even in the ordinary act of sharing a meal, the magic of the night lingered, a gentle reminder that love, in its many forms, was the most powerful dream of all. Chapter 7, Reflections in the Quiet. Later that day, as the family went about their routines with the soft energy of a new dawn, each member carried with them the indelible impressions of the night. Thomas, in the quiet moments between tasks, found himself pausing to reflect on the deeper currents of his existence. The whispers of his dreams, the gentle encouragement of his inner voice, had sown seeds of quiet transformation. Every challenge that he faced now seemed less insurmountable, every sorrow more tenderly cradled by the promise of healing. In the delicate interludes of his day, he recalled the soft murmurings of the midnight hours and felt a renewed strength, a silent acknowledgement that the night, in all its mystery, had given him a gift beyond measure. Lydia, too, carried the night's gentle lessons in her heart. In moments of quiet reflection, whether while tending to her garden or scribbling thoughts in her well-worn journal, she found herself drawn back to the serene imagery of her dreams. The image of a starlit stream, the soft laughter of an old friend, the delicate interplay of light and shadow, all these visions converged to remind her that life's most profound beauty often resides in the quiet spaces between moments. She had learned that the true measure of strength was not in the absence of pain, but in the capacity to embrace vulnerability and find solace in the shared experience of being human. Evelyn, with her gentle wisdom and tender heart, became the silent guardian of the family's collective memory. In the soft rustle of the leaves outside and the quiet hum of the wind, she heard echoes of past generations, a lineage of mothers and daughters, of shared sorrows and unspoken joys, the memories of her own childhood, the gentle caresses of her mother's love, and the quiet resilience that had been passed down through time became a soothing lullaby for her soul. In every moment of solitude, she felt the profound interconnectedness of life, a delicate web of shared love that transcended the boundaries of time and space. And little Sophie, in her childlike wonder, continued to explore the world with wide-eyed curiosity. The magic of the night, with its gentle promises and soft, lingering dreams, infused her every step. Whether she was chasing after a butterfly in the garden or listening intently to her grandmother's bedtime story, the essence of that tranquil night remained with her, a gentle, unspoken vow that in the midst of life's storms, there is always a sanctuary of love and peace. Chapter 8, A Night Revisited. As dusk approached once more, the house on Elmwood Lane seemed to prepare for another gentle ritual. The golden hues of sunset bled into the deep blues of early evening, and the familiar warmth of the family home beckoned its inhabitants back into its embrace. In the quiet anticipation of nightfall, the Morgans gathered once again, each heart carrying the memory of the previous night's quiet communion. This time, as the family settled into their beloved living room, a subtle change pervaded the space, a gentle reminder that every night was a new canvas upon which they could paint their shared dreams. Evelyn carefully dimmed the lights, allowing the natural glow of the moon to illuminate the room. The familiar creak of the old rocking chair, the soft murmur of whispered goodnights, and the tender rustle of blankets became the overture to another symphony of rest and renewal. Thomas sat by the window, gazing out at the star-strewn sky. He felt a quiet anticipation, as though the night held yet another secret message for him, a whisper of hope in the gentle cadence of the cosmos. Lydia, with a soft smile, prepared a pot of herbal tea, its soothing aroma mingling with the cool night air. Little Sophie, already wrapped in her favorite blanket, cuddled close to her stuffed bear, her eyes heavy with the promise of dreams yet to be discovered. In that serene moment, as the family's voices softened to a hushed lull and the quiet interplay of their hearts filled the room, the night welcomed them once again. It was as if the darkness outside, vast and unending, was a gentle guardian, cradling them in its silent arms and assuring them that even in the deepest hours of night, love was the ever-present light that would guide them home.